Hey everybody out there in YouTube land, I'm John from Two Angry Ducks, and I'd like to welcome you to the first of our Game of Thrones prediction videos for Season 7 and beyond. If you happen to view our previous video review of Episode 1, the subject of Peter Baelish's death became a point of contention among us. As mentioned in that video, I've concocted a theory that I feel would be a deliciously devious demise for the grand architect of Westeros' downfall. While I don't feel this is the way that Peter Baelish will meet his maker, I know it would be the most satisfying by far. Now, I can't stress enough that these are purely speculations and not spoilers. This John knows nothing too. I began crafting this theory during the Thrones off-season, while I was trying to poke holes in the seemingly unstoppable Targaryen tsunami. Cersei would be hard-pressed to muster a force against both the North and Daenerys, whether they align or not. It became clear to me that the best way to strike at Jon and Sansa was through her finger. The last time Cersei and LittleFinger were together, she told him to bring her Sansa's head. Instead, he joined Sansa in taking back Winterfell with his late entry in the Battle of the Bastards, though I'm sure she's furious at Baelish.
Seize him. Cut his throat.
She needs allies more than ever.
I've changed my mind. Let him go.
And I have a feeling Baelish may be needing allies as well. In both the trailer and next week's preview, we see glimpses of Jon Snow laying the smackdown on LittleFinger in the Winterfell crypts, probably for talking some shit about his mom. While I'm sure that chokehold is very much deserved, it may be the most recent in a long list of boneheaded decisions by King Snow. With Jon's army largely depleted from the Battle of the Bastards, the Knights of the Vale are a very impending force looming within Winterfell. With Lord Royce in the house next week,
Targaryen cannot be trusted.
I don't see the Knights pulling a Red Wedding, but I do believe Baelish will be asked to leave, with or without the Knights. Once he is out of Winterfell, Baelish will need allies, so why not court the Queen of Westeros? Now, I know Episode 1 set up Euron and Cersei to be a match made in Hades, but I suspect once Euron has put a few dents in Dany's army, he's gonna get cut down pretty quick by Jaime's one good hand to save the plot time. Once this happens and Peter Baelish whispers into Sweet Robin's ear, or silences Robin forever, Baelish now has control of the largest, least used fighting force remaining in Westeros, thanks to his marriage to the late Lysa Tully. Suddenly, the lion checking out the mockingbird makes a lot of sense. Now, I do see Jaime murdering Euron before leading the Lannister forces in the Field of Fire 2.0 battle coming later this season. Once he's out of King's Landing, expect to see a recently scorned Peter Baelish roll in as Jaime heads out. With Cersei and Baelish, marriage will be strictly business. Cersei will be allowed to keep Jaime around as a boy toy for a single concession for Baelish. Spare Sansa Stark so she can be kept in King's Landing as a way to keep the North in line, and as a mistress for Baelish, since Cersei has Jaime. With a few words and a sept, Peter Baelish becomes King of Westeros. May God have mercy on us all. His first act is to set out and reign in the north with a small portion of their combined forces, the lion's share of troops staying behind to defend King's Landing from the impending onslaught. Once Peter Baelish leaves King's Landing, don't expect Cersei to stay alive much longer. Though a city siege and dragonfire, or hell, even a paid assassin by Baelish himself, do sound like very grand ends for the Mad Queen, wouldn't it be just so poetic to have Cersei strangled by Jaime as he returns from his battle, charred and burnt, to find Cersei has married another man? Once all the life has escaped Cersei's mortal coil, Jaime will likely take his own life to fulfill his double-death prediction from earlier in the series. With both the Lannisters dead, now Peter Baelish sits with the only ass to grace the Iron Throne, the second most important thing in the world to him. Now, all he needs is the most important thing. With Baelish safely away from the impending battle in King's Landing, Peter's soldiers of the Vale, the ones he left behind to combine with Cersei's forces, now take control of the city's defenses. Baelish enters Winterfell with little to no resistance as 99% of the men, women, and children of the North are fighting White Walkers. He greets Lady Sansa as the King of Westeros. Once more he implores Sansa to make his revealed fantasy from the end of Season 6 a reality. Once more Sansa refuses. However, with Brienne and Jon Snow fighting walkers, she soon finds she doesn't have that choice. From here, one of two things will happen. 1. Sansa is informed she will return to King's Landing to wed Peter Baelish in order to bring the North to heel. 2. Baelish loses his mind as he stands a single step away from the picture in his head he's worked his entire life toward, only to be denied by Sansa. Either way, expect a brief scuffle to emerge before Baelish stands over Sansa with a fistful of her hair. Peter Baelish removes the Valyrian dagger from the very first season of Game of Thrones as his last means of trying to convince Sansa to stay with him. He allows candlelight to glisten off the blade as he informs her of how happy she could have been, punctuated by an all-too-creepy, "I really did love you." Just then, as the audience has finally resigned itself that this is the end of Sansa Stark, both combatants are startled by a shadowy figure in the corner. The voice from the shadowed figure questions Baelish. "I thought you only loved one woman." Baelish and Sansa share confused looks before the figure emerges from the shadows to reveal the thought-to-be-dead Catelyn Stark. Being swept up in a burst of insanity that caused him to attack Sansa, Baelish struggles to comprehend what he's seeing. He drops Sansa to investigate the ghost of his fallen love. As he reaches for her, she guides his hand to her cheek to confirm that the woman before him is no specter. As his fears and questions slip away, the King of Westeros is struck with a piercing agony as a familiar cat's paw dagger slips into his stomach. He falls to the floor grasping at Catelyn, only to rip the cheek he'd been holding off her body. Baelish looks up into the face of Arya Stark, now being joined by her sister Sansa over his fading corpse. He attempts to apologize as Sansa takes the dagger from Arya and ends the 20-minute reign of Peter Baelish, King of Westeros. So there you have it, folks, my theory on the most poetic ending to the House of Baelish. While I don't think it is very likely with so many variables running around, I do believe it would be incredibly satisfying for a character who destroyed so many lives in their quest for power to meet their end within eyesight of the finish line. So again, let me know what you thought. If you like the way Peter Baelish died here, if you think he should have died some other way, please let us know in the comments. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day. Peace.